Yes, lads, what's happening? And welcome to the 30th episode of the Little Running Irishman podcast. As you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see behind me the background's a little bit different. And that's because what I've mentioned numerous times in earlier episodes of the podcast, and which was up on my Instagram story, that yes, I got a brand new computer. And I got it. Well, it is mine because I use it more than anyone in the house, but it's really like a family computer, but it's in my room, and yeah, I use it more than anyone else, and it's a really, really good computer. I'm not going to get into the specs or anything now. If you want to know about the specs, give me a text over on Instagram at littlerunningirishman.official, or leave them down ask the question down in the comments below if you want to know about the specs of the computer. But no, it's a really good computer, really good for the podcast. The monitor I got did not come with a webcam, so I had to get a webcam for it. As you can see, the quality on YouTube anyway, hopefully, I think it's better anyway. I'm not too sure. Let me have a look here. I'm pretty sure the quality the quality is better over on YouTube now due to the webcam. The mic for the people listening on the podcast, on a podcast app, and obviously the people listening on YouTube, I think the mic is pretty good as well, because I have two pairs of earphones that I sometimes switch between. I got a Samsung pair that I found in my dad's phone box. Basically, they make like a buzzing noise just for the podcast. They're grand for games and all, but these don't make a buzz noise. I'm 99% sure they don't. So yeah, I'm happy with that. The sound still needs a few upgrades. I'm gonna try get a mic because right now what I'm doing is plugging my PlayStation controller into the back of my computer, then plugging my earphones into the PlayStation controller. So the sound quality and mic quality isn't the best right now, but I'm pretty sure the camera quality it's not a drastic improvement, but it's an improvement all the same. Yeah, the setup's really good, rendering's faster, editing's easier. Yeah, it's just a great setup overall, and I hope the background looks a bit better. I think it's a better background than from when I was just doing it over there on the laptop. Yeah, I wanted to get that up out of the way. Yeah, got a new setup. Hopefully the quality's better. And yeah, moving on from the setup, this will be a pretty short episode of the podcast, I think, because I don't have a lot to talk about. And I am recording 2 episodes of the podcast today, Sunday. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the episode. But I need to first talk about not an injury, but something that happened to me over the course of the week. So on Monday, I went out to play football with my 2 mates on an Astro, and me and my mate were messing, and I was chasing him, and I tried to slide tackle him on the Astro. And anyone that's ever been on an Astro or played football in particular on an Astro knows if you slide tackle on the Astro hard enough, you'll get pretty bad Astro burn, and that's what happened to me. I'll put a picture up of it on the screen here for everyone watching on YouTube. If you want to watch the podcast to get like little pictures and videos up on the screen to see them, go over and search Little Running Irishman podcast on YouTube and you'll be able to watch it there. But yeah, got really bad Astro burn on the top of my right leg. It stung like hell. I was putting like Sudocrem and TP cream and wrapping up in a bandage and all, and it stung so bad. It did not affect my running this week at all, really. Sometimes when I was like sitting down and then standing back up, it kind of hurt then. Just for a few minutes, just was getting used to walking again after sitting down. But yeah, once I start running, the pain literally goes away and doesn't affect my running. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys, tell you guys about that. There's also a picture up on littlerunningirishman.official Instagram. I put a picture up of it, the picture I showed on the screen. I put that up on Instagram. I said if you want to find out how that happened to me, go over on tune into this Sunday's episode of the podcast. So for all the people that done so, well done. Also, that on Monday just gone, the same day I got the Astro burn, also posted this up on my Instagram. I landed my first ever front flip on trampoline. I was buzzing with it. If you want to see the video, go over to my Instagram. We were there for about, me and my mate were there, me and my 2 mates were there for a while trying to land front flips, and I landed my very first front flip this Monday, so I'm absolutely buzzing with it. Video over on my Instagram. But yeah, And that is pretty much all I have to talk about before we get into this Sunday's episode of the podcast. As you know, on Sunday we go over and talk about my week of training that I just completed and compare it to the week before and so on and so forth. So let's just jump straight in. Monday, 45-minute run, 9.19k, 4 minutes 55 seconds per kilometre. So that's 5.71 miles at 7 minutes 56 seconds per mile. That is, now for 45 minutes, getting 9.19k. Sometimes, and the pace, 4 minutes 55 seconds per kilometre, I wouldn't be doing that on like proper 50-minute runs. It's really solid run, felt decent. This was the day that I went out and I was playing football and on the trampoline and all, but yeah, really solid run. Didn't even stretch, barely stretched at all because I was out all day and my legs were already pretty warm up, and I didn't want to stretch them, and I really wasn't bothered because I went out late enough in the evening. But yeah, didn't even really stretch or foam roll or do any of my exercises or anything before I went out. Solid run, very happy with it. Monday was 18 degrees Celsius, and I did not get not the Fahrenheit, I did not get the humidity for Monday, so it is what it is. Well, it's not harming anyone. But moving on to last Monday was 50 minutes at 9.81k with 5 minutes 6 seconds per kilometre. So that converts to 6.10 miles at 8 minutes 12 seconds per mile. Felt okay last Monday. Legs were a bit heavy. Got it done. Last Monday was also distance and speed wise. It was a fairly solid run. So yeah, 2 Mondays in a row, 2 solid runs. This Tuesday, as you all know, I'm back with the team. This Tuesday, once again, session with the team, 15-minute jog, warm-up, slow warm-up, stretches and then strides. And we also do a few hurdle drills just to loosen up our hips and our legs a bit more. The session was 10 by 400. It was 73. Averaged about 73 to 75 for each one. Solid session. Felt really humid on Tuesday. It was actually 85% humidity with 17 degrees Celsius. So yeah, really hot. It was kind of hard to breathe at times. My mouth was getting really dry. And then the cool down was a 15-minute jog. Cool down. So a solid session. Comparing that to last Tuesday's session, this was the first session back with the team. It was 10 by 400 again, and I averaged from 74 to 75 for each. So this week was about the same, 73 to 75 this week. It's faster on a few more this week than last week. I remember my last one was 70. So yeah, I'm happy with this session. From Tuesday, moving on from Tuesday is Wednesday's 50-minute run. Now, Wednesday was a mad run. Ran it in my back garden. Ran my 50-minute run in my back garden. You would have known about this, and you would have known that I've actually made a video about this. If you follow me over on Instagram, links down in the description. But yeah, you would have known that I made a video about this. It's edited, it's uploaded, but it's on private. It's going live on Tuesday at 3 p.m. GMT, so 3 p.m. Ireland time. So you can convert that for wherever you live. Basically, ran my 50-minute run out my back garden. Basically I recorded it. I recorded it and all. I done it for a video. The main reason I done it, I talk a lot more about why I done it in the actual video, which is going live on Tuesday. So make sure subscribe and turn on notification bells so you're notified when that mad video goes live. But yeah, the reason I done it was because I was meant to go on a run with my mate that day. He couldn't make it last minute, so I decided to change things up a bit, make it a bit more interesting. So I decided to do it out my. Now when I say back garden, I mean my tiny garden. My garden is very small. It's about 5 meters in length and about like 2 meters in width. It's very small, and you might think that I must have felt like I was going around for ages, but I mentioned all this in the video because of the recording and like each time talk to the camera and all. It kind of made it go faster, and I really enjoyed it. I went for 8.50k at 5 minutes 53 seconds per kilometre, 5.28 miles at 9 minutes 28 seconds per mile. Mad run. Went slow because one, it was out my back garden, and because it's so small, I didn't want to underestimate how many times it's gonna feel like I'm going around if I'm absolutely dying. So went slow for that reason, and also it was only a 50-minute recovery run from Tuesday's session. So yeah, Wednesday was an absolute mad one. Wednesday was 17 degrees Celsius at 89% humidity, so pretty humid on Wednesday once again. But yeah, mad mad session or mad run on Wednesday. I don't really want to compare it to last Wednesday's 45-minute run. Last Wednesday wasn't even a 50-minute run, 45 minutes, 8.49k, 5 minutes 25 seconds per kilometre, or 5.28 miles at 8 minutes 42 seconds per mile. Just went slow last Wednesday as well. It was a recovery run from the session, felt okay, just got it done last Wednesday. So yeah, mad run this Wednesday. Make sure to turn the notification bell on right now. If you're listening to this podcast, go over to YouTube, turn that notification bell on, subscribe so you'll be notified when that video goes live. As you know, this channel isn't only a podcast channel. I've a vlog up and a Black Roll Ireland product review up right now, and then this video is going up on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. So yeah, make sure to tune in for it, because this channel is a lot more than just a podcast. And if there's any other challenges you want to see me do, leave them down in the comment section below, or give me a text over on Little Running Irishman, the official Thursday, first ever Thursday session on the podcast. It is it's a bit of a milestone. Actually, this episode is a bit of a milestone in itself. Episode 30 of the podcast. Thanks everyone that's been sticking around the entire time. It really means a lot. 30 episodes, absolutely crazy. We've had some really great guests on. We had some really great training weeks in there. Hopefully a lot more podcasts and videos to come. But yeah, all that cheesy milestone stuff out of the way. On to Thursday. So the first ever Thursday session on the podcast was a 15-minute jog, warm-up, stretches, strides, and hurdle drills once again. And we done a bit of speed work this week. 6x200, I got about 30 to 32 for each. Really tough session. Went all out for each 200. Man, 200s are hard. I've kind of got a bit more respect for sprinters now, even though long distance training is harder than sprinting training due to obviously the longer distance. But on the long distance training, me and the lads were talking about this on Thursday. In long distance training, if you're having a bad day, not that you can take it easy, but you can kind of sit back in the pack a little bit, or it's easier to get into it. Like if you feel bad at the start of the session or in the warm up, it's easier to get into the session then gradually. But if you're doing sprinting, if you feel bad, you're going to be absolutely left in the dust, and because everyone's going all out because of being such a short distance. But yeah, really happy, got some solid speed work in, 6x200, really tough session, went all out for each. It was raining, so it made it a bit harder because the track was a bit heavier. But first bit of speed work back in a while, so now I was happy with it. Cannot compare it to, actually Thursday was 16 degrees Celsius at 89% humidity. Was warm and humid, just that it was raining, so that was a little bit annoying. Wednesday, last Thursday was a 50-minute recovery run. It was a really solid run last Thursday. It was 9.91k, 5 minutes 6 seconds per kilometre. Or 6.16 miles at 8 minutes 13 seconds per mile. Good run, felt decent, went nicely, didn't push. So yeah, can't compare this Thursday to last Thursday. But moving on from Thursday, we go on to Friday, which is my rest day. Went into town with my mum. I got Burger King, so a bit of a cheat day. Don't even really like Burger King that much. We just got it because my brother and my dad was getting it. But yeah, solid rest day. You have to have the rest days. You have to have the cheat days. Otherwise, if you're at running or any sport or anything at all 24/7, it will get a bit repetitive and a bit annoying. So yeah, that's what I do on Friday. Moving on from Friday is a session on Saturday with the team. We done a 15-minute jog warm-up, stretches, strides. This was in the park, so we didn't do hurdle drills. On Saturday, we done minute on, minute off for 24 minutes. It was 5.45k, 4 minutes 28 seconds per kilometre, or that converts to 3.38 miles at 7 minutes 12 seconds per mile. And then a 15-minute jog cool down. The session was so good. Saturday during the session was really warm. It was 19 degrees Celsius at 88% humidity. Me and Andrew, the tops came off, the guns were out, the anorexic bods were out. But no, it was really I felt really bad warming up, stretching and doing my strides. But once I got into the actual session, we have it's this loop called the garden wall loop. It has a little downhill It has like a solid downhill and then like a big gradual uphill. It's about a 500-meter loop. That's where we done the session around. But yeah, felt really bad warming up, stretching and striding. But once I got into the session, I felt really, really good. And yeah, I done really well this session, I must say. Really enjoyed it. Comparing that to last Saturday, we done actually 4x1k last Saturday. So can't really compare, but 2 solid Saturday sessions in the bag. Moving on from Saturday, we come to this Sunday today, 60-minute recovery run. As you guys know, we done 11.43k, 5 minutes 21 seconds per kilometre, or 7.10 miles at 8 minutes 36 seconds per mile. Really, really bad run. I was pretty tired when I got up this morning, got up at 7:30, went out for my run. Yeah, really bad run, wasn't moving well at all. Got it done, even though the distance and the pace wasn't too bad, and the weather is 17 degrees Celsius at 61% humidity, so not the warmest day of the week. Comparing that to last Sunday, we done 11.17. This week we done 11.34. So yeah, further this week, last week was 5 minutes 33 seconds per kilometre, 6.94 miles at 8 minutes 56 seconds per mile. Felt bad last week as well. Yeah, I've been having a bit of a run with no pun intended, but a bad run with the Sunday runs. Yeah, they haven't been going well for me lately, but no, just go out, try keep it slow, and I just get them done. So for the total kilometres this week, we got 39.77k, and the total miles is 24.71 miles. The reason it was less this week is because of Thursday's speed work. Obviously, the mileage is a bit shorter, but it's in substitute of something else that will help me, the speed work, so not too worried about that at all. And the run in my garden on Wednesday shortened the distance a little bit as well because it was in the garden. Yeah, and I explained why, and I also explained why it was shorter, why the run, the distance was shorter in the run. I explained that in the video. But comparing it to last week's total distance, total kilometres was 47.38k. So what's that, like 8k less this week, and 29.41 miles. So definitely more last week, but yeah, with the speed work and the run out the garden this week, definitely plays a huge part in why the distance is shorter this week. Moving on from the week of training is my favourite segment of the podcast on Sunday, which is question of the week. This week we got a question from my mate Andrew. It's not really a run related question, but he asked, tell everyone how I'm a really good friend. Now Andrew's one of my best mates up and running, really, really sound lad. We basically clicked straight away when he joined. We mentioned this in the episode. That episode isn't on YouTube, it's on any podcast app. Go give it a listen if you want to hear the whole story about Andrew's running career and how we met. But yeah, me and Andrew clicked straight away when he joined. I joined before him. Yeah, when he joined, he was really sound. Not a lot of people there, well at the time anyway, liked football, and still not a lot of people there liked football. But yeah, I like football, Andrew likes football, so we bonded over that. I started slagging him about supporting West Ham, so yeah, and we were basically around the same ability level. So yeah, Andrew's a really good friend. A lot of good memories with him, a lot of bad memories, but not about Andrew, but we've shared bad memories together, like races and all. But yeah, Andrew's a great mate, great teammate, and yeah, that is answering Andrew's question on why he is a great teammate and a great friend. This episode, actually, let me check how long this episode's been. 18 minutes. Yeah, this episode is very short. Some of these episodes I don't really have a lot to talk about other than my week of training. It's a very important episode, but other than the week of training, I don't have a lot to talk about. Very, very special guest coming on next Thursday. Remember I said at the start of the episode that I'm recording 2 episodes of the podcast today. That's because one of them is with a very, very special guest. You would have seen who it was with up on my Instagram. I posted it up there on the story. If you're not following me over there, I know I mentioned it so many times, but you're missing out on so many things behind the scenes. Videos, guests and all, you're missing out, so go give me a follow over there. Very, very special guest coming on next Thursday. Will I give it away? Alright, I'll give you a hint. I mentioned him he hasn't been a guest yet, obviously. I've spoken about him in an episode of the podcast. He's a high school senior, and what else? I'll give you one more clue. He's one of the best high school runners, milers of all time. That's giving it away. Surely, leave your guesses down in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys come up with. But yeah, make sure to tune in next Thursday. I'll keep you guys updated over on Instagram when that episode is going live. But make sure it's gonna be a banging episode. I haven't recorded it yet, but it will be an absolute banger. As I said, don't have too much else to talk about in this episode. Actually, don't have anything at all to talk about in this episode. Very, very short one. Just wanted to briefly go over my week of training, the new setup, special guest next week, and the question of the week. So, if you guys enjoyed this episode and you're watching it on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys be notified when the special guest comes on next week and when the episode of me running out in the garden, the video of me running out in my tiny garden goes live on Tuesday. So make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. If you're able to go over to the Anchor website and search up Little Running Irishman podcast, there's a little button that says listener support. You can donate 99 cents, $4.99 or $14.99. Any donations at all are highly, highly appreciated. And just like the new computer and webcam and all here, I really am trying to get a mic. I might get one pretty soon. But yeah, all donations are highly accepted and they all go back into the quality of the podcast. Also, I have a TikTok called The Little Running Irishman. Go over there, give me a follow, watch my videos, give them a like. I've not been too active on there lately, but I'm really enjoying making them when I do. So yeah, if possible, go over and give me a follow over there. But that does it for this episode of the podcast. I hope you guys all enjoyed this Sunday's episode of the podcast. Big things coming on the channel next week and the week after. Sorry about the Nike Zoom Streak 7 review not going up this week. That's another reason. And I also mentioned that in the video where I'm running out in the garden. That's another reason why I decided to do this video, to put out a different kind of video for you guys in a substitute for the Nike Zoom Streak 7 review. Hopefully that'll be going out next week. I'll keep you guys updated over on Instagram. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of the podcast. I know I did, even though it was pretty short. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you next time. Bye!